Hey guys, what's going on? It's Andrew from AR Media. In today's video, I want to review Thor on 4K UHD Blu-ray. So let's get straight into the movie on this one. So actually, I wasn't the biggest fan of Thor when this movie first came out in 2011, but right after Thor Ragnarok, when he got his more comedic side, I really started enjoying him. And in Endgame, he was one of my favorite characters as Fat Thor. So going back and revisiting the first one and revisiting the origin story was actually really interesting to me, and I really enjoyed it a lot more. I didn't find it as serious as I found it back in 2011. I did find some comedic elements to it, and that just shows how the MCU really wears on you after all these movies, after these 22 films. But again, this movie was a great movie. I was really happy I revisited it because I feel I underappreciated it the first time, and a great watch and must own for my collection. So now let's get to the video quality. So this is a 2K digital intermediate, upscaled to 4K, and I was disappointed with the results here. Yes, there is a small uptick in detail, but really this is nothing to write home about, and in a lot of scenes you really won't even be able to notice it. DNR was applied here greatly, so this was shot on 35mm film, so you should get some grain, and you do get some grain in some scenes, but a lot of scenes are just DNR'd like crazy, and you do get a bit of the waxy face syndrome that you did in some other titles, and you do lose some detail from the DNR overall. In Iron Man 2, DNR was applied, but you didn't lose that textural difference. The textural difference between the Blu-ray and the 4K was still the same, where here the textural difference between the 4K and the Blu-ray, we definitely lose some texture on the 4K. And that's definitely sad to say. This one definitely is not in line with Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2 that I have reviewed so far. Another thing I noticed with the DNR is some like artifacting with the motion. It looks like it messes with the motion at parts, but you guys comment down below once you get the disc and let me know about that. So depth is actually pretty good here, separating the foreground from the background. That is improved from the Blu-ray. Now let's get to the HDR usage here. HDR usage here was very reserved, and a lot of the scenes that I thought would be a standout are actually not much different from the Blu-ray counterpart at all. I thought Asgard would be a great use of HDR, and really it didn't pop off the screen at all, and there was not much different when it comes to contrast, nuances, or punchiness, and pretty disappointing disc when it comes to HDR. Very reserved color palette and not used nearly as much as it should have been. Now let's get to the audio quality on this. So this has a Dolby Atmos sound mix, and I'm sad to say that this is the first one really with Atmos. You're going to have to bump this at least 4 dB on your receiver, and still with that, this mix lacks dynamics. The surrounds are used okay, the overheads are used okay, but really the dynamics is where this suffers. You can still hear dialogue, but this definitely is more in line with the older Atmos audio than some of the newer titles like Endgame or Iron Man 1. So overall, guys, this is a disappointing disc, and so far the most disappointing in the MCU. I was really sad to see that upon watching it, but I want to be honest with you guys and always report how the disc is visually and audio, and this one was definitely a letdown. So I'm going to say wait for a sale on this one, or if you already have the blue, maybe skip out or wait for a box set. And yeah, I'm going to leave a link in the description if you guys do want to pick this one up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.